Right, welcome everyone to the Python machine learning webinar. As you throw in your introductions, you already know that I am Amit. I am the CEO of equiskill.com and I'm based out of Bangalore. And I'd like to thank Rohit, who's a software engineer in Bangalore, Surya in Bangalore, but we don't know what you're doing, Surya. You could share a little bit more. And Vivek, who's a software engineer based out of Hyderabad. So thanks a lot for your introductions. And everybody else, please pop in with your introductions. So thanks, Pranay. Daniel from Jakarta, Indonesia. We've got Jatin, who's a business analyst. We've got Avinash, a software engineer. Nathan from Hyderabad. Okay, there we go. So wonderful to have all of you here. We've got folks in SAP like Ankita. Right, so we're going to kick off the webinar and welcome everyone to Python Machine Learning webinar by equiskill.com. And our vision is to help everyone get insights from their data to improve the state of their self, their organization, or their country. Some of you may have actually had a chance to visit our website. So if you actually go to equiskill.com website, let me just share that with you right now. Just give me a second here. While I pull up the website, there we go. Okay, here we go. So this is the Python machine learning course that you see on our website, the one for which we're actually conducting this particular webinar. But really on the website, you'll notice that we've got a bunch of courses that we conduct certifications globally, including R, the Data Analytics Accelerator, and R and Tableau. We've got machine learning with Python. We've got just Tableau and just R as well, and many more courses. And we've conducted courses globally. We host a lot of events, and you've actually registered for this event that you see over here, right? And we've got alumni now working at all of these companies after graduating out of the program. And this is the event that you're actually joining today, the machine learning event with Python, right? So that's us. And I blog a lot on Quora.com. So if you actually go to Quora.com, you should be able to see, my profile on Quora. And apologies here, I'll just log out of this particular profile and share my profile in a short while. Okay, here we go. So we'll get back to our presentation and move forward. Okay, so I'm Amit Upadhyay, and I've actually worked at Amazon.com with the fraud analytics team. I've worked with the GIoT teams, as well as I've been with Citibank, right? Citibank Global Analytics and Insight Division, a vice president at Citibank. So these are the roles that I've done. I'm an adjunct faculty for analytics at international universities. I've conducted workshops in Singapore, Malaysia, Myanmar, and I've got around 15 years of experience. That's my LinkedIn profile. I also have with me a very special person today. I've got Samir, and Samir will walk you through his own introduction very quickly, but really I think I have a lot of respect for Samir. So Samir, what I'm going to do now is unmute you so that you can speak up about yourself a little bit there. So just a second. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Amit. If you guys can hear me.
Yes.
Yeah, hello everyone. This is Samir here, and I'm working as a data scientist at Deloitte USI Mumbai. And I've done my post-graduation in machine learning, business analytics and machine learning from SCMHRD Pune. And I've worked in, say, Honda, Dun & Bradstreet, and now I'm working with Deloitte for the last 1.5 years as a data scientist. So that's it. I mean, if you have any questions, I mean, in the session, then you can always feel free to reach me or Amit. Yeah, that's about me. Yeah, Amit. Hello. 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 Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Folks, my apologies. I hope I'm audible now. I think we had a small outage there, and my sincere apologies to everyone. Can you confirm that you can hear me? Am I audible to everyone? Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's fantastic.
Yes,
Thank you
you
so
are
much.
audible.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So I'll just get back to the slides again. Here we go. All right. There we go. All right. My sincere apologies, folks, for the technical error that we just faced right now. So here we go. I talked about our vision at Equiskill and about my profile. I've worked at Amazon and GIoT and City Analytics as an ex-vice president for City Analytics, and we were just going to, hear through Samir's profile a little bit here. So Samir, if you could please again, I'm very sorry about the interruption.
Yeah, no
Talk
problem.
about your profile. Yeah.
No problem. Hello, everyone. My name is Samir, and I'm working as a data scientist at Deloitte for last 1.5 years. And I've also done my post graduation in business analytics and machine learning from Symbiosis, Pune. And I've also worked with Dun Bradstreet and then Hondas and Mahindras. So in totality, I have an experience of around 8 years now. And yeah, that's all about me. Yeah, over to you, Amit.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Samir, for that quick introduction. So what I will do for a quick second is, Samir, I'll make you the host, just so that in case there's any technical issue, then I will, not be the host, then you will become the host. So I've made you the host. I'll reclaim the host now,
Yeah.
and I'll proceed now from here. So Kirti, you've got your hand raised. You might want to quickly ask your question or put down your hand. Hi, folks. So we've actually been a part of a lot of machine learning summits, and this is me presenting at the Data Science Summit 2018. I know that some of you sort of met me there and got introduced to Equiscale from the Data Science Summit. We conduct global workshops across Asia. So we've done get-togethers in Singapore. This is Malaysia, as well as Indonesia and Bangkok and India and Bangalore and Mumbai, and we've trained thousands of professionals from all of the companies that you see here on your screen now. Okay, and the reason why we're all here, the reason why we're all talking, is the phenomenal amount of data that's getting generated on the internet on a regular basis, right? So if you look at the kind of data, you have chats, you've got calls which are audio, you've got YouTube 300 hours every minute, you've got video, and then you've got text, you've got transactions on Amazon, which makes approximately $90,000 every minute, right? So you heard me right. That is 90K each and every minute on the internet is what Amazon approximately makes. So as you can see, there's a lot of data, structured and unstructured, that's getting generated on the internet on a regular basis. These are the reasons why the hottest skill in the year 2018 is cloud, of course, and then you also have statistical and data mining, which is the technical name for data, machine learning, and data analytics, right? And you'll find this topping the charts everywhere across the world. So I'd be surprised if you do not see it in the top 5 in each and every geography across the world, right? Okay, and so the reality there is that you've got a huge gap of data scientists across the world, and you want to see here the number of data scientists that are in the US, 190,000 gap. You've got a gap of 19,000 in Canada, but really in Asia, in Jakarta, Indonesia, in Kuala Lumpur, in India, everywhere in London, UAE, you've got a shortage of data scientists. And before I go anywhere else, I want to clear the air on something which is very important, right? There's a lot of confusion out there on what a data analyst does versus what a data scientist does versus what an ML or AI engineer does, right? And you know, you want to look at this chart, okay, and you want to understand that these are not mutually exclusive roles, right? There are significant overlaps, and you see those overlaps over here between an ML person and a data scientist, as opposed to the overlaps here between a data scientist and a data analyst, right? And these are not mutually exclusive. The most important three things you want to remember is that you have the following three kinds of analytics. Fundamentally, you have descriptive analytics. And even before descriptive analytics, I know Samir will talk about it at length. You have ETL extraction, testing, and loading of data from databases. And then that data goes into the whole analytics process. You generate reports in descriptive analytics, drill downs, you generate metrics about the business performance of different roles like salespeople, customer service people, right? And you also send out SMS and email alerts, which all of you get when transactions happen on your credit card, right? So all of these, just a second here. My apologies. So all of this here, right, is descriptive analytics, and this forms close to 70% of the work, in the analytics world, right? And then I would say approximately 20% would fall in the realm of data science, okay? And then a further 10% in the realm of prescriptive analytics, right? Okay, so this is, sort of where we are in terms of the different kinds of analytics. Okay, now if you want to understand this very clearly, the simplest way to understand is descriptive analytics is about describing what is going on in a business at any point in time. And typically, by the time you come around to talking about it, it's already happened in the past. So for example, the sales last month went down by 10%. So you describe that, and it's something that has happened in the past. So that's descriptive analytics. But then what is predictive analytics, right? So predictive analytics is about gaining more insight into why things happened the way they happened. Right? So to take an example, the same example, right? So when you look at sales, okay, and the insight behind the sales going down by 10% is important, right? So why did the sales go down by 10%? The moment you ask the question why, what you're looking for is some insight, right? So you're trying to predict why things happened the way they happened. You might even want to forecast the sales next month, analyze it, and model the sales for the whole year and see how it might look. But it doesn't end there, right? The last step in the process, and what a lot of ML engineers end up doing, is talking about how to proceed in the future in order to improve business revenues. So for example, if Uber knows that sales next week is going to be down, then they're going to send out discount codes, and all of you will get those discount codes and try to use them in particular times of day or particular days of the week where Uber believes that business is not going to happen, right? So how does this happen? It isn't a human being doing all of this, it's machines, isn't it? So these discount codes are nothing but analysis followed up by codes being sent out by machines to the whole world to make sure that business happens the way that it happens, right? Now, before I move ahead, Samir, would you like to add anything to this particular slide, and then I can take it from there, Samir. You can actually unmute yourself for a quick
Yeah.
second.
These are the three different roles that we see in everyday life of what do you call a data person. So as Amit mentioned, it starts with the descriptive analytics, and it is, I would say, I would like to add what Amit said is descriptive analytics is more of a post-mortem of the data. I mean, whatever you have on your table. So how do you slice and dice the data and look into the a skeleton of the data? What's there? It's more of a past tense. and you just have a different view of looking at the data rather than looking at the tables. And then predictive comes after that. If you are done with the the visualizations and ETL and visualization, then you go for a predictive. Can I do something about to predict my future? So here the second part comes kick in. This is called predictive analytics. So here we have statistical modeling and all that. After that, once these two are done, and then we go for prescriptive. I mean, say once we are done with the forecasting, and depending on the business requirement and geographical requirement, we go to the business stakeholders and you take their inputs. See, sir, this had been in last 6 months. This we can see by the script analysis. This is what we are forecasting right now, and based on our forecasting, can you we suggest you to move forward in a way. Now that the last part is called prescriptive. Say the business has always has a say that whether to take my analysis or not, or whether to tweak my predictive modeling according to their budgets and many other business factors. So again, if you are really it's a very exciting field. Every day you learn a new thing, and you actually mold your thoughts according to the market dynamics and a lot of other variables. So it's all about in a nutshell, I would say data science is all about establishing relationship between various variables which is interacting with the outcome. If this happens, this is happening. If this happens, say if there are five things, there are five variables. Suppose I have X amount of salary, and the salary could depend on five variables. Say my age, my job type, and etc. etc. But when these variables become more than five, say my salary might depend on 10, 12, 15 variables, then we study the interaction of those variables and how these variables interact among themselves to decide my salary. And it becomes a very complex mathematical equation, which is done by modeling. Right. So these are the three stages in a nutshell that this is the way we move forward in a data science world.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Samir. So, folks, some of you want to know the applications of machine learning, and I've actually got some of them here for you, right? So, I'll just walk you through it very quickly. One is fraud prediction. It's a huge application of machine learning, right? So, if you take, for example, Amazon or eBay or Zappos.com, right, you want to make sure that buyers and sellers are not defrauding the platform. But not only that, apart from fraud, you also want to think about abuse. So, for example, if someone purchases a camera on a Saturday, I'm sorry, purchases on a Wednesday and gets it delivered on a Friday, uses it over the weekend, let's say on a Saturday and Sunday, and then returns the camera on a Monday or Tuesday, says they don't like it. And if this behavior repeats itself over and over again, it is called abuse, right? It is practically impossible for human beings to detect these patterns over a period of time when millions of transactions are happening. So Amazon.com, eBay, all of these companies use ML and machine learning algorithms in order to actually, forecast this behavior. Okay. All right. So I want to thank some of you who are writing on the board right now, but if you could please not do that, gets a little distracting. The other piece is, segmenting your customers and creating many different customer segments that you can target for the marketing and the sales, right? This is another area where traditionally banks used to sort of, define customer segments on the basis of high net worth individuals. They might call them HNIs, and medium and low net worth individuals. But machine learning algorithms are doing a much better job of creating segments and creating propensity models around what customers want for each and every segment. So this is another use I want to talk about. But if you look at it, right, in pharma and healthcare, you have A/B testing, which is when you do the drug testing, right, and you make sure whether the drug is working or not for people. So this is, done using analytics as well. When you forecast, the entire epidemic, whether it's the H1N1 epidemic, right, or any other epidemic, the models that are being used to forecast these epidemics across the world are machine learning models. It could be exponential smoothing, it could be ARIMA forecasting, all depends, right? Now, when you look at telecom over here, you see all of the examples such as upselling and cross-selling to customers. So whenever you have an American Express credit card, over here, this is the Amex example, but when you're on a particular plan with AT&T or Airtel, and then they recommend another plan to you, all of this is done using upselling and cross-selling modeling, right? Which is another application of machine learning. Okay, all right. Now, Ishan, you might want to log out and log in, and then you may get your audio as well. On the other hand, if that doesn't work, then anyone who's facing a challenge, there's the Zoom, Cloud Meetings app. All right. And in the Zoom Cloud Meetings app, you have the meeting ID 110.147.416, which you can enter, and you can actually log in on the mobile phone as well. Okay, and this works for everyone who have a better connection on their mobile phone than they do on the desktop. All right, now some sophisticated uses of machine learning in the social media space include the recommendation engines that recommend friends to you on Facebook. So in case you saw a lot of friend recommendations on Facebook, you know that that's a machine learning algorithm that's working hard to recommend people that you have a lot of connections with. As well as on LinkedIn, it may recommend connections and say, hey, would you like to connect with this person, right? So all of that is based on the recommendation engines, which are machine learning algorithms. So I've tried to highlight here for you to read up and Google on some of these applications in the retail sector, financial services, e-commerce, healthcare, telecom, as well as social media. And I hope you find this useful and you find some time to read through some of these examples over here, right? If you have a question at any point in time, please do feel free to ask. And one of the questions that we have right now is that do we use any of the ML models to understand behavior of people after the webinars you conduct? Okay, so we do use analytics to look at the participation of people in the webinar, but the analytics we look at is the chat participation, the duration for which they stayed in the webinar, the engagement metrics in terms of the emails you've opened and closed. So I'm very open about this. I share this with you so that you understand that you can use descriptive analytics in the education industry as well, and all the education industry players do look at analytics to monitor the engagement. All right. So what are the skills that you guys need in order to break into analytics, right? It's a combination of three things. One is the tech skills, which is the IT or the coding skills, the programming skills, the skills on data visualization softwares like Tableau, right? Those are one set of skills. The other set of skills are the data science fundamental understanding of the algorithm. And please understand that IT skills are very different from data science or algorithmic skills and understanding how data and algorithms behave, right? Because tools, they come and go, but the techniques are exactly the same. And you'll be surprised that machine learning isn't something that got invented this year or last year. It was actually invented in the 1960s, okay? So back then, you didn't even have personal computers, and it was invented on pen and paper using mathematics algorithms, right? So you can imagine that it's 50 years since ML has been around, and now it's blossoming as a field. You also need to understand the business. Now, this part is really important, okay? If you write an ML model, and to give you an example, once we created a model without knowing what business it was for because they were hiding those details from us. Clients don't always give you that data. So that kind of model is called a black box data set, okay? So let me just put that term on the board here for you, black box data, which is where you do not know what the data actually is. And the accuracy that we were able to achieve in the prediction was around 79%, but we were not able to go beyond that point. The moment we asked them, what is this data? And as it turned out, it was data relating to stocks. Okay, and we got the headers for the data. We understood which one was the stock price and which one was the economic factors and other variables. The model shot up to an 88% accuracy in predicting the stock price, right? So that is the dramatic sort of improvement that happens when you understand the business or when you understand the domain. Okay, now needless to say, all of you have one of these skills, right? So either you understand a particular business or you've got some tech skills, even if you're a fresher, or you understand a little bit of data algorithms, okay? But the idea is to bring it all together into one package, and that is a data scientist. Again, if you have any questions at any point in time, this is a very interactive webinar, so please do feel free to shoot your questions, okay? Now, having said that, the tools that you require in the industry can vary significantly. You must understand that since 70% of the work that happens in the analytics industry is actually here in the descriptive analytics space, it's really important that you know a business intelligence or descriptive analytics tool, right? And I'll show you the ones that are topping the market. And then it's equally important, of course, that you should be aware of skills for a tool that you can use for data science and machine learning, which today we're going to talk about Python, but you also have, apart from Python, some of you have heard of R, which is also another leading, very popular tool. You have other tools as well, such as SAS, which was very popular in the past, okay? And then over here in the BI space, I'm going to talk about some of the tools which are must have for you. Do not believe that you're going to make a career using Python or R alone, okay? So the leaders are Tableau and Power BI, right? Microsoft Power BI and Tableau for business intelligence and descriptive analytics. Now Tableau coincidentally integrates very well with Python, and there's what we call TabPy, right? So TabPy is nothing but the integration of Tableau and Python so that you can use the wonderful visualization abilities that Tableau has, which go way beyond the Python abilities, as well as the great machine learning and forecasting and prediction capabilities and of Python, right? But you also have other tools like ClickView, which are fairly popular in the market. I would say that combined, these three would be Power BI, Tableau, and ClickView would be the top three in the market for descriptive analytics. Moving on to predictive analytics, right? You will find that the top tools for predictive analytics, okay, are as you see here. So just go through this table over here. You'll notice that R and Python are both open source tools, right? Which means anyone can contribute to the packages in R and Python. I'd like to compare them as R being Batman, who is very intelligent, very cunning, doesn't have as many superpowers, but lot of brain that he has, right? So R has all of these statistical libraries which scientists have been using for a lot of time. Now, coincidentally, both of these started off in the 1990s, okay? 92, 93, 94. And Python has a lot of raw computing power. For example, Python can convert your hard disk. If your hard disk has 200 GB worth of space and you only have 8 GB worth of RAM, Python is capable of converting those 200 GBs into RAM. And so it totals this up and puts together a muscle power of 208 GB of RAM for you, right? So that's the strength of Python. Now R sort of functions within the RAM that you provided. So if it's 8 GB, it's 8 GB. Now, by the way, that's not a small amount of data, okay? Very often in the industry, you'll work on data sets that are close to 100 MB or 500 MB. So do not believe that 8 GB is less. However, clearly, Python is very powerful. It's elegant in the code. It has a wide range of libraries for both programming and analytics, right? And it is capable of integrating very nicely with deep learning libraries like TensorFlow as well as Spark. And that's where the Python's popularity as a predictive analytics tool has been growing a lot over a period of time. And if you look at this little thematic that I've put together from KD Nuggets, and I've mentioned that over here, in the year 2016, you used to see Python sort of having a 34% market share, but R was dominating, right, at 42%. And then the others would be, tools like SAS, which have a pretty good predictive capability, right? This is just the predictive, analytics that I'm talking about here. But look what happened at the end of 2017. R went down to 36%, while Python went up to 41%. So I'm not saying that you need to choose only Python or only R. See, the biggest thing you need to understand is that in data science, the client is going to tell you what you need to use. Do you need to use Python or do you need to use R? Right? The business is going to tell you that. You don't often make those choices. So it's really good if you know both, okay? Number one. Now, having said that, if you're the master of one of them, that would be really, really good. So master one, but know both, okay, would be my sincere advice to all of you. All right, so in terms of Python capabilities, right, it has a lot of packages, and we're going to give it over to Samir, and we'll move fast through the slides, Samir, so that we can get to the demo where everybody can actually see Python. So we've got a nice combination. How about we've got a question from Parthy. He says, how about the combination of Power BI and Python, as well as Tableau and Python? So I just spoke about Tableau and Python. Clearly, there's a very good option called TabPy. Okay, so I'm just sharing that over here. So TabPy is nothing but Tableau Python integration. It's very powerful, and that's why in our course we focus on Python, and then we also have two classes which are very detailed Tableau as well. It is possible to use Python and Power BI as well. However, you will see that that's a lesser combination, for the reason that Microsoft has put its weight behind R. And a lot of you may have heard that you now have Microsoft R, right? Now, once you have Microsoft R, R clearly does very well with Power BI, right? Microsoft is making sure that that works very well. So I would say R integrates very well with Python and Tableau, but probably, in Power BI, you'd have much better integration with R than with Python, right? Okay, so we've got a couple of slides here. We'll talk about the Python capabilities. We'll talk about supervised and unsupervised machine learning, AI versus ML. We'll probably take it around 2 to 3 minutes per slide, and then talk about supervised and unsupervised machine learning and the difference between the two for you today, right? And once we do this, we'll move ahead and go to the demo. Okay. All right. Parthiban got his answer. So Samir, I think, yeah, over to you for
Yeah,
Python.
yeah. So Python is really confusing when you start learning it, because I face that problem because I'm an expert R programmer, and I had to learn Python because of the capabilities that it provides, which R doesn't. So you know what, R and Python, identical in when it comes to machine learning, but Python wins the race when it goes beyond machine learning, when it gets into artificial intelligence. So to learn Python, there are libraries. Since Python you think Python as a universe, and in universe there are different planets. So and each planet or each library, you call it, has a specific function. Specific job assigned to that. So you get into that universe of Python, and it is capable of making websites or web applications. So for those two things, web applications and GUIs, these Django and Tinker is being used. And if you talk about natural language processing, which comes under slightly artificial intelligence, we have a library called NLTK. If you want to plot, if you want to see the graphical capabilities of Python, there are Bokeh, then you have Matplotlib, and then you have Seaborn. I'll show you some of the plot and capabilities, and we'll also learn how to plot them. When it comes to machine learning, this is scikit-learn is there, which is definitely not mentioned here, but that is one thing we'll learn. So now Python has a advantage, as Amit mentioned, that it has got a great muscle power, and most importantly, it is one of the tool where integration becomes seamlessly easy. And since I'm working in a real-time environment, so in production environment, what happens with R is R at times get sluggish, but Python will always allow you to connect to various databases, then various different integration tools and everything. Python is seamless. It has got more than 112,000 libraries currently, right? So over to you, Amit. Can we change the slide?
Sure, Samir. So I think we also want to talk, very briefly about the difference between AI and machine
Machine
learning.
learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
This comes hand in hand. I would say the first step towards artificial intelligence is data analytics. Second step is machine learning, and the third step is artificial intelligence. So I would always say, if you really want to build your career in artificial intelligence domain, you have to go step by step. You have to first learn data analytics, then machine learning, and then artificial. Basically, machine learning is when you give some data to a machine and ask the machine to understand that data, and then when I give them an unseen data, then then the machine will give me an output based on its interpretation of the given data. This is called machine learning. So I know this is a bit confusing right now, but yes, gradually you'll understand. And then artificial intelligence is something else. It is real-time triggering of events. If I see an event, I my mind molds myself into a certain event triggering system, and I will not make that mistake again. It is a real-time event. So it goes hand in hand. First, we need to understand machine learning, and then we'll go for artificial intelligence. Yeah. Next slide, Amit. Yeah, so in machine learning, there you will learn, you'll see, and you'll come across these terms a lot, and it becomes very confusing where to start and which is what. So I'll briefly and quickly tell you about these three type of learnings that we have in machine learning, and we'll see in our course how we tackle them one by one. So broadly, to start with, we use supervised learning and unsupervised learning and reinforcement learning. They are the three different type of learning what we have in machine learning. So first, just take supervised learning. Here, for the time being, you can say I give machine a data set. I give say 100 records or 100 person's personal record, and each record or each person, I know the salary of each person, and I also know the 5 variables, say age, gender, occupation type, and all. I give 100 data points to the machine, and I ask the machine, this is the data, please understand the data, and in future I will ask you what would be the salary if I give you 5 variables. Please understand, this is the salary and these are the variables. So here supervised, it is always called supervised because I am giving the salary to understand. If salary was this and this was the 5 variables, this is called label data, because label is the salary. Now I know we'll take it slowly. Once we come to unsupervised learning, we take the entire data set, we don't see X and Y, just put that data set in the machine and ask machine, please understand the data and give me your understanding on this data. I'm not biasing my data set. Just collect the data, put that in machine, and ask machine to give me their interpretations. So the best example would be, I take a data, throw it in machine, and ask him, guys, machine, can you give me 3 different clusters based on say 10 variables. There we have an algorithm of K means another algorithm. This is how machine works, and it will give me 3 clusters. 3 clusters, as in, suppose I have 300 persons record, and machine gave me 3 clusters. I mean, say in first cluster there were 150 people, second in cluster there were 100 people, and in third cluster 50 people. And how they are similar, we'll see in how in K means clustering. And the other example would be say recommendation engine. If I take a mobile phone and a screen guard, then the probability that I will take a phone's cover is very high. So how these recommendation algorithms work, this comes under unsupervised. And the third one is reinforcement learning, which is beyond the scope, because this comes exactly into artificial intelligence, where machine learns in the real-time event. Say I ask my machine to play a Super Mario game, which we used to play in 90s. Machine will play, it will die down, and then again it will start, and next time it will not die down at the same place, because the machine has learned that if this happens, I die out. So we do a programming in a way that at each event, it modifies itself. So yes, to get into reinforcement learning, we need to understand supervised and supervised, then we'll get into reinforcement. Yes, slowly, but yeah, this is the future, reinforcement learning. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. So, guys, one of the questions that we have is, what is the difference between data mining and machine learning? So, Tanmay, in the past, when you used to have raw data, you used to use data mining in order to put together some meaningful reports, right? So that part was data mining, but machine learning is really about the insights that come out of the reports. Okay. So if I were to go back to this particular slide over here, data mining would be everything that you would do to take the raw data, which is over here at the base of your pyramid, and convert that into some meaningful tabular data, right? And you might even put together data, like the sales per month, per week, per region, right? So all of that would be data mining and try to find some meaningful insights. But when you try to predict, right, and when you try to put together some insights from the data, that would not be a part of the data mining, okay? So that would all be data science or machine learning. Right? So I hope that helps you. And more, once you join the course or you understand while working on the data, this will become even clearer to you. By the way, did you guys, some of you notice that I had an animal over here, animal number 1, and I had an animal number 2, right? So, to us, it's really easy. If I were to ask you, what animal do you have over here, number 2 and number 1? So let me start with number 1. Can some of you tell me what is number 1? Which animal is it here? Just put it in the chat box. So I'll put the question, which animal is 1? Come on, folks. Absolutely, it's a dog, right? And then which animal is number 2? Can I get that too? Cat. But how do you train a machine to learn that this is a dog and that this is a cat, right? So the way you do it is you give a lot of images and you convert a lot of images into data which is tabular, right? So you have pixels and you convert this into tabular data and you give it examples of animals. For example, you give one row of data at the end of which you put a label saying that this is a dog, okay? Another row of data, let's say a second row of data, and at the end of this, you put a label, a column which is a label saying that it's a cat. And then you've got many examples of dogs, cats, dogs, cats, 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 dogs, and the machine reads all of this and learns what attributes describe a dog and what a cat, right? So this is an example of supervised machine learning because you're giving it a label which shows the machine which one is a dog, which one is a cat. Later you throw additional data at the machine and ask it to predict, can you now tell me which one is a dog and which one is a cat, right? This is an example of supervised machine learning that I had for you over here, and all over the internet you have these examples of supervised machine learning. Machine learning, there are no labels. So when we put together clusters of customers who have credit cards and we want to understand different kinds of customers, there are absolutely no labels over there. Okay. Right. So can you all hear me? Please say yes in the chat box if you can hear me. Okay. Does the label have to have a specific, there's a question that I have here, data structure or format. Okay, Deepti, the data structures can vary, right? So in deep learning, it can learn from many different kinds of labels. It doesn't necessarily have to be tabular. Okay, so they can vary. All right, so you all understood now that supervised machine learning is when you do not give any label, such as a dog or a cat, and it's supposed to understand itself, while when you provide labels of desired output, that is supervised machine learning. Without labels is unsupervised machine learning. And when you tell it what is positive and negative behavior, such as gaining points and losing points, that is where it learns and it reinforces its learning, right? So that is reinforcement learning. Okay, so I hope some of this is pretty clear here. Right, so one example of unsupervised machine learning is pretty easy. Let me just show you right away. And I think we've got it coming up in the next slide. So here we go. So this is a great example. See, in unsupervised machine learning, when you see many different data points, so these are 4 data points over here, 5 data points over here, I'm sorry, 4 and 4 data points over here, and over here, right? So we have not told the computer, any example of a cluster. The computer has itself understood and it has created 3 clusters from this data. So it's saying that there's cluster 1, there's cluster 2 over here, there's cluster 3 over here. It has automatically done this. We have not given it any labels, right? So this would be an example of unsupervised machine learning. Okay. Now, Vasanti has a question saying, is there an example of supervised being better than unsupervised or vice versa? No, it all depends on the problem that you're trying to solve, right? So there are some problems where you have the desired output or the label. To take an example, when you have images of a car and you'd like it to detect whether the car is, let's say, for example, a Toyota, okay, or whether the car is a Volkswagen, right, a Volkswagen, or whether it's a Mercedes. So you can give it lots of images and give it examples of these outputs, and then it can understand and predict these desired outputs. But what if you do not know something, right? For example, the clusters of customers, you don't even know what kind of customers across the world may actually be in different countries, but they may be very similar to each other in what they want from your video game. Maybe all of these customers are people who do not like lag in the video game, or maybe they're customers who do not want to pay. They would like to have more and more free functionality, right? Or maybe they're customers who like to compete in games where you have participants from many locations, so which are basically the social kind of games, right? So you don't know what these customer clusters are. You don't know whether they like lag or whether they don't want to pay, whether they want to play with other people. You want the computer to find out. And so that is unsupervised machine learning, where you don't actually have any example for the computer to follow, right? So I hope that now makes it a little clearer to you guys. Are you clear now on that point? Can all of you say yes or no in the chat box? Vasanti says yes. Nikhil says yes. How about the rest of you? Okay, super. All right, this is great. Thanks a lot, everyone, for your response. Okay, I know that we've come for a Python demo, so I think it's about time that we get into the Python demo. After the Python demo, please do stick around because I've got something very special. We offer certifications in Python machine learning along with Tableau and Spark and deep learning. All of it is included in the course, and we've got a huge discount for you coming up today. And we'll talk about the course structure, which you see over here, which has everything from introduction to Spark, NLP, deep learning, recommender systems, principal component analysis, as well as in the beginning, before you start, the basics of Python, NumPy, Pandas, MATLAB, all the different kinds of supervised and unsupervised machine learning algorithms, right? So we'll talk about that after the demo. I know that you're all hungry for the demo, so let's actually go ahead there. One more question that I got before the demo is an example of reinforcement learning. Really easy. When a computer learns to play the game Mario, okay, and when it for the first time, here's our guy Mario, right? And just pardon my art, okay. And when Mario is sort of moving forward and he hits one of these bad guys, okay, and the moment he hits the bad guys, what happens? He dies, okay. And when he dies, he doesn't like that. So that is a negative reinforcement for the computer that's learning to play the game. But if he jumps over the guy, okay, he actually does not die, and later when he collects some coins, some golden coins, he actually gets some points, right? So those points are positive learning for the computer trying to play Mario. And I'll actually include a video of a computer playing Mario in my email to all of you, so you can watch the computer learn, okay. And you'll be surprised when the computer plays, it even understands when it's not going to do very well in the game. And believe it or not, and this is very hard to fathom, the computer commits suicide, okay. So you will see that happen in Mario as well, because the computer feels very dejected that it's not going to make any scores, okay. So I hope that's clear over there, right? Okay, now someone wants to hear about dimensionality reduction. We will talk about that. I think let's now go to the Python demo, right? How many of you are now keen to see Python? Tell me how many of you are seeing Python for the first time, okay? So if you're seeing it for the first time, say 1, but if you've seen it before, say 2, right, in the chat box. So a lot of people are saying 2. There are some 1s, 2s, okay. Okay. So accordingly, we can, move. I think we'll be able to introduce some of you to Python, those of you who are seeing it for the first time. And don't you worry if it's a little fast, but then later, when the course starts, we'll go nice and slow and make everyone comfortable. Okay, so Samir, I'm going to make you the host now. Just give me a second here. And you're the host now, Samir. You can share your screen and start the Python introduction. Thank you.
Mm. screen. Okay, so is my screen visible to everyone? Yeah. So when it comes to demo of Python, so I have made various modules of Python to show you the various capabilities of Python. One is the graphical capability. Then the other one is, say, word cloud that I have made over here. This is called word cloud. If you have seen, this is something called NLP and text analytics. Then I also have one regression model, say what predictive model, how we do it and how we interpret it. So these are the three small things that I want to show you guys so that it becomes easier for you to stop getting paranoid about Python, because Python initially it looks like it is a big programming language and you need to be a computer scientist or computer engineer to learn and understand this. I am not a computer engineer and I have mastered it, so it's very intuitive and it's very easy if you learn step by step in a right path. So let's start with the basic of what Python does. Suppose Python is a machine. If Python if you have seen Excel, just think Python as an Excel for some time. Python can take any shape. Now to start learning Python, let's think about Python is a Excel sheet. If you understand Excel, so I hope I'm sharing my screen, right?
Actually, currently we are not seeing your screen, so
Okay.
you may want to share your screen again.
Okay. Share screen.
Absolutely. So we can see the word cloud right now.
Yes.
I think you might want to close that and start with.
Uh,
So Samir, will you be doing? Yes. So please go ahead, Samir. All over to you.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
See, Python. If you talk about Python, Python is a programming language which can be used or which can be written in various different type of IDEs. We call it as IDEs. I mean, interactive development environment. So someone you'll get confused about what IDE should I be using. What is the best IDE? There are multiple: Spider, PyCharm, Jupyter Notebook. The one which you are seeing on my screen is called Jupyter Notebook. It is more of a real-time code answer, and you can save it for future for if you want to revise something or you want to document your codes and all. So this is the easiest way I can demonstrate on the fly. I'll write a code. The answer would be here. Here will be the code. Here will be the answer, and you will understand it. So I generally use PyCharm. If you can see my screen, this is the ID that I use every time in a prod environment or develop in the time when I'm developing any code, because it is very intuitive and very powerful in terms of debugging and everything. So
And those of you who are seeing Python for the first time, please do not worry, because when we start the course, we'll go nice and slow. Today it
yes,
may seem a little faster because we have budgeted for 1 hour 30 minutes, but we have the video, and don't you worry, it'll be very easy for you. Once you guys learn the basics, and we even cover the basics of Python in the course, right? But today, because we have a lot of learners who know Python, and the demo will move a little bit fast, but don't you worry. Okay, thanks, Samir. Samir, you may have to share your screen again. Yeah.
yep. I understand.
Okay, over to you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll start with basic data wrangling. Say this and if I have a new Python file, okay, so done. So say I suppose I have an Excel file in my system, or CSV. I have a CSV file in a system. I have just read in that file, a flat file, and just I want to show how that file looks. Loan dot head. I want to see the top five rows. If you can see on my screen, it is as good as using Excel. This is the reason of showing you to showing you guys this is you need to get a feel that you're not away from the real time data. I mean, data is data. It is a cross sectional tabular data. So you have various variables, and this is the loan data, banking data. The person who have got loan, and this was the loan application ID, and if that person had got loan, it is flagged as Y. Otherwise, no. So these are the various variables that we captured. This is how data looks like, and you start, once you have data read in your Python system, and whatever things you do it in Excel, create a new column, create a new variable, rename a column, whatever we can capability that Excel provides you, it has been given in Python. But if you do whatever can do using a code in Python, it is reproducible. Suppose your boss says at the end of the day, boss, what have you done till now? Suppose you are working in Excel and you have performed 150 steps, and again you cannot explain step by step, and he suddenly he says go back to step number 50 and change this. So that is not reproducible until unless you know macro programming. That's not required. So Python provides you with the same capability with a code, and it reads in the file, and this is the how file looks like. Say if you want to see the data types, loan.describe, right? Or loan.describe. So this is the summary of the data that you can see. Yeah, that is the one part of thing that I wanted to show you. It is as very simple. Secondly, I want to show you the graphical capabilities of Python. See, I have written the code. See, this is 5 lines of code, and it is producing a graph like this. I'm using a Seaborn library called Seaborn. It can be you can use Matplotlib or anything. So it is just look at the graph that I have constructed. Just 3 lines of code, and look how beautiful the graphical representation looks like. This is the data set. 3 categories of data set. This is the clustering output. It has clustered the entire cross-sectional data into 3 clusters, and you can see it visually. And in how many lines? In 1, 2, 3 lines. So we'll learn how Seaborn works. So this is again bar chart, and then again say 5-6 lines of code, and you get this sort of scatter plot. This is again clustering result, and then again clustering result, and again along with the this plot, leaf plot, and this is the box plot. So I have already created this Python notebook. I'll share it across. It's not a problem. You can always go through and look how easy this is to plot graphs in Python. So now the second part is done. You guys have any question? I can stop by for a moment because I have some other things. Yeah. Will some code samples be shared? Yes, of course. I can share the notebook. That's not a problem. Okay. So now comes the third part of it. I wanted to show you the word cloud. Say word cloud is a thing. Say you have a text data. Say I give you 500 text files, and I ask you, boss, please read this and tell me what exactly it means. It would be really problematic if we do that. So this is a code that I have written. This is a very easy code that's not very tough. What my code does is it extracts text data from Wikipedia about Python programming language. It is a plain text file, and once that text is generated, once I run this code from here to here, just small code, I'll show you. I'll tell you how to see. This is the word cloud that has been created by my code. Now I wanted to wanted to know about what the text data really means. The size of the word implies that number of times or the frequency of Python word being used in the text document. So if you look at this image, what it adds is it is not a direct usage. Suppose you are preparing a report on a text data, say time data or something. You are reading a lot of criminal data, crimes happening here and again. And if you really want to find some patterns in the text data, you just run this program over all the text data, and you collate this word cloud on your report. It looks good, visually appealing. Apart from this, you have sentiment analysis, which will take care. So everything goes by hand in hand. It's not that only word cloud will make you win the race. You need to have some predictive knowledge, some Tableau knowledge, some word cloud knowledge, some sentiment analysis knowledge. You create an entire report. Each report supports the other report. Yeah, this is one of the capabilities. And then again, I'll go back and I'll show you my last thing called basically prediction model, how prediction model works. So I'll show you linear regression. So, yeah. So this is this is a data set wherein we have we want to predict the house price based on the various variables. Say the various variables are number of bedrooms in that house, number of square feet, number of bathrooms, and lot many variables like this. So I also know the price if these were the non-variables to me. Now I want to make a model, or I want to get a statistical equation for the future, wherein when I will provide these variables, say I will give you number of bathrooms this, number of square foot this. So what would be the ideal price? What should be the price? So this is more of a linear regression sort of thing. This is called a regression problem. So again, I read in the data like this, and then I saw the data, and I actually tried to plot each variable against other to look the interaction effect. This is called grid plot. It is so easy, and how many lines of code? Only one line. SNS.pair. Only one line gives you this many plots. You can put them into your reports, and you can easily analyze them. Then again, this is the correlation matrix, how one variable is related to other. Will take care of correlation when we go through the course. This is the one variable against the other variable, and what is the relationship between those two variables. This is tabular format, and this is the graphical format. Then again, I made a model for sklearn library. Again, we'll see how it works. So finally, once this model is being made, we are ready to predict our future. Right? So this is the predictions that I'm getting here. I gave in a test data set, and I asked my machine, if you have learned the patterns in my data to the scikit-learn, please predict the prices for these many. This is the prediction of how we get. So it is hardly 15 to 20 lines of code, but yes, you need to understand how this works, and we'll take care when we need linear regression and logistic regression and all that. These are the very small demonstration that I have made, and I deliberately made this as a Jupyter notebook because it is easy to share, and I can share it to you. You can use it again. That's become easier and reusable. So this is what I had to share, and I would like some questions from your side, because that would be great. Yeah.
So some of the questions which had come in the chatbot is, what are the top libraries in Python
For
for machine learning? That was one. And then the other was, where in real time are they used? So yeah, some of the popular libraries in machine learning is one question.
yes.
And yeah, the other is sentiment analysis. Could you give
Analysis.
more insight? So I can take the sentiment analysis question, Samir, and
Mhm.
you can probably take the popular libraries in Python. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So see, when I ask anyone to learn Python in a way that you don't slip down, Python is if you are not a typical programmer, say you do not come from a Java background or something like that, then people say it might become a bit tricky to learn Python, and again slip down. Slip down as in you learn and you don't practice and you forget. So what I suggest is learn. Step one, learn pandas. Pandas gives you a capability to see data in Python as Excel. This is the way that you can see. If you can see on my screen, this is only because of pandas. Pandas converts Python to for us, to see the data as we see in Excel. So first learn pandas, then go for say scikit-learn. Scikit-learn is only for machine learning and data modeling. Once you are well equipped with these two libraries, and then slowly step back and see what are the important things in NumPy library that you need to learn. And because if you start learning NumPy directly, because everyone does that and slips down, don't learn NumPy initially. Learn pandas, scikit-learn, and then get back to NumPy. Then again, these are the three top libraries. Then again, if you go to, if you really want to do some natural language processing work, there are three top libraries. One is NLTK, then other is Gensim, and then other is Text Blob and Spacer, SPA Spacey. There are four top libraries for natural language processing. Then again, if you really want to do deep learning and artificial intelligence, it is more of providing your computer eyes and ears to process the data. Providing eyes means you provide them to interpret images. So if you really want to play with image wala thing, then you have to learn TensorFlow. There's a library called TensorFlow and Keras. Then this will suffice all your problems with deep learning, artificial intelligence. So these are the 6 to 7 libraries you need to learn step by step. But we'll start with pandas. Yes.
Okay. So I think that's great. That's very, very useful. I hope that was helpful. So I'll take the second question. I think was around sentiment analysis. We've actually done, a project on the sentiment analysis. If it's okay, I'll probably share my screen, Samir. So I'll just reclaim the host for a quick second and let me share my screen here. Just a second. I'll pull it up for everyone. So in sentiment analysis, one of the best uses of sentiment analysis is that you can do a sentiment analysis for a Google review. Okay, so let me share an example today and quickly share my desktop. There we go. Okay, so suppose you've got a Google review, right, of a company. Let's take any company. All right, so we'll take, for example, Urban Clap, right? This is a particular company that does home services, right? And when you look at Urban Clap, the reviews are 3 points out of 5. They come to your home and they fix any problems that you have, at home. And there's 277 Google reviews. Now, if you were Urban Clap, would you be happy with the rating of 3 out of 5? Is my first question for you. Yes or no? Come on, guys. You're an internet company and you're rated 3 out of 5. You happy or not? All right. So you got it right. If you're an internet company, you definitely want to make sure that you have a rating of 4 and above. Okay. And apart from being 4 and above, you'd even want a rating better still of 4.2 or above. And for one of the companies, we helped them achieve this. The way we did that was we took all of the Google reviews, right? And we copied this entire corpus. You can even scrape it by using a package called Python soup, right? Now, once you actually copy this corpus, let's take an example of, this particular data set, this particular first corpus over here, right? Now, you have to take a lot of steps in order to make sure that you analyze this, okay? So let me paste this here on Notepad for you. You'll quickly realize that this like has no value. So you need to clean out this kind of data, right? 4 weeks ago, you might want to extract it and make this, most recent and less recent reviews, and make sure you're looking at the reviews of less than 4 weeks, right? To look at the recency effect. A Google user is not useful, so you get rid of this, okay? Now, this is what you're left with. Here is your raw data. Now, this raw data is called a corpus. Okay. Now, currently it's not a corpus. This is just a raw data. But if I take multiple such raw data, okay, for example, if I copy this review over here and I add this to, and I do this, using the Python soup package. Now you won't do this manually, okay, because there's hundreds and thousands of reviews. I'm just giving you a demo. So you would take this entire, and this is by the, company itself, Urban Clap. So I would not take this particular review, okay? It's by the company, so I'll skip it. So you need to train your algorithm to avoid all the reviews or the replies from the company itself and look at only the reviews of the users. Once you put together all of these reviews from the users, you have what you call a corpus. So let me put that here, word corpus, okay? So once you've created your word corpus, there's two things that you can do out of it. One is you can put together a cloud, which basically is nothing but a frequency count, okay, of the words that are occurring in that particular review. Now you can even take positive and negative words. So it is possible to break this down into, sort of positive and negative words and the occurrences of positive and negative words. And this can tell you what are the issues for your business, right, that you can resolve. Okay. Now, more than that, next step would be to put together a sentiment cloud. Okay. Sentiment cloud, would actually tell you how people feel about your company, and this is really, really important. And let me just Google a couple of sentiment clouds for you, right? Sentiment graph. So it takes all the human emotions and it plots, the emotions of the human beings, right? So this is a Twitter sentiment analysis, and we do this as well. So let me take this particular example over here for a quick second, right? I'll just insert a new slide here. Okay. So I'll just paste this here for you, and we'll just talk about these sentiments for a quick second. There we go. Right. So what you notice is whenever you have a corpus, okay, and so Himathota says the name of the Python library, so soup. Yeah. So you have Python soup. I'll show you that. Just give me a second. This is what we use to scrape the data. Okay. Now, one of you asked, how do you interpret this? So look at this, right? This is the number of people that are angry with your company. These are the number of people who have anticipation. So why would you have anticipation? You would have anticipation if you ordered something, but it has not been, and can someone complete the sentence? You ordered, but it is not yet what? Come on, guys, you can all complete this. It is not yet. Absolutely, you guys got it right. It is not yet delivered. So anticipation tells you about where the fulfillment is not happening to the satisfaction of the customer. Now, luckily here, you do not have anything in disgust, okay? But this is not real, because in reality, there's a lot of people who rate your company 1 or 2. Typically, if they're disgusted, they'll just rate it 1, right? So for those people, you'll see a high disgust sentiment. This is something that you need to be worried about, and you need to reduce disgust in your company. Typically, you would reach out to those people, you would give them a refund. Okay, that's option number 1. If you cannot even reach out to them, cannot refund them, then you must reply as a leadership, and you must share what you think happened to them, okay, so that other users do not feel that it's a bad company. Okay, then fear is something you want to avoid. Okay, if people are afraid of you, it means you're doing things to them that you should not be doing, right? Now, the sentiment that should have been much higher should be the joy sentiment. So in an ideal world, it should be all the way as high as this, right? Okay, and positive is good here, that's nice. You want to lower the negative sentiment. Now, trust should be high. Okay, what you want to do is, I'll give you an experiment. Please run this sentiment graph on the comments regarding the Bitcoin. Okay, and we will show you this in the program. So in this program, you'll learn to connect to Twitter free of cost using the Twitter API. By the way, just for your information, the Twitter API is available to all of you free of cost. So we'll show you how to download that, connect to the Twitter API, and look at the tweets regarding the Bitcoin. Now, when you look at those tweets, at certain times, the tweets will tell you that there's a huge negative sentiment, right? I also want you to look at the tweets for a company called GE, the General Electric company, and their CEO, John Flannery. He recently sort of, talked about the vision for the company, and unfortunately, when he started speaking, the stock price tanked, and there were a lot of negative tweets, right? So this is the application of sentiment analysis out there in the industry. I've given you a couple of examples, and I hope that helps, right? One of you had actually asked this question. Okay. All right, so whoever had asked that question, I hope that helps. The other is that one of you asked the question, how do you scrape data off the internet? So you want to learn about this package, and Samir can share more, but there is a package called Python Soup. Beautiful soup.
Yes, yes. See, Beautiful Soup is a Python library or a package
Okay.
which is
Samir, which one do you use? Do you like
Beautiful Soup. I use Beautiful Soup. Hello.
Do you like Beautiful Soup, or do you have something else that you like?
No, no, no. I use Beautiful Soup for web scraping.
Right. So you basically prefer Beautiful Soup, or do you have any other package which you'd like to recommend to all the people that have joined here today?
No, Beautiful Soup is perfect for
Uh-huh.
script. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yep, yep.
So Beautiful Soup is a library, as Amit said, is used for extracting text data from a website. So it's an excellent. It has got an excellent documentation, as if you can see on the screen. Python. Yes, one more great thing about Python is the documentation quality, which exceeds over R. If you see, you'll find the entire textbook written so beautifully in Python that you cannot match that. You don't need you just want a direction and a right website. Once you reach the Beautiful Soup, you go to the website. They have given you step-by-step code how to start Python and then write one by one code to connect to a website and then extract whatever data you want to extract, text data. Once the data is extracted, it will be converted as a corpus and do whatever you want. If you want a word cloud, you want a sentiment analysis, whatever it is. See, someone has asked UiPath. Yes, I have worked in UiPath. UiPath is something robotic process automation. That is nothing related to do with this Python. This is robotic process. It is a different story. We can talk offline. UiPath, Blue Prism, these are all different things. It is more of a recording of a if you have use a macro in a Excel wherein you record. You start a recording button, you do your stuff, and next day you just run that macro. Given the condition, the format is exactly the same which you received last time. Now UiPath and then this is a very upcoming technology. You should listen to this. One is called UiPath, Blue Prism, Automation Anywhere. These are called RPA, Robotic Process Automation softwares. This is more of an advanced version of macro, which is used. You can do anything. You start doing your work every day for 1 hour. You record that, and next day it will automatically do your job. But it has nothing to do with intelligence or machine learning.
All
Yes.
right, that's great. Okay, so this is great. So guys, we just wanted to walk you through a few more things very quickly before we end for the day. And there is definitely an algorithm, Tanmay. Okay, and we're ending actually in a very short while now. We had started at 11 a.m., so we'll be continuing all the way till 12:30. It's 1 hour and 30 minutes. And after that, if some of you are interested, we are happy to answer questions from you as well. Okay. All right. So before we sort of go anywhere else, I want to share that we do have a very good certification program that we run, and it's the Python machine learning certification on our website, equiskill.com. We're starting on Sunday, the 10th of June, and we'll be conducting classes in the evenings. That is specifically 7:30 p.m. India time in the evening on Saturday and Sunday, which is 10 a.m. in the morning Eastern time in the US. Okay. So for those of you that just want to, make a note of the time, it's 7:30 p.m. IST, and if you convert that right to ET, it's basically 10 a.m. ET, and if you convert that to Jakarta time, it's 9 p.m. To onwards till 10:30 p.m. Jakarta time, and London time it works out to 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. 2 hours 30 minutes every Saturday and Sunday, and we've actually got a certification which you can post on your LinkedIn page once you get certified from the program in machine learning with Python. We help you with your resume as well, and we give you a live project to work on in Python. And this is the online classroom. It will be exactly the way that you're seeing right now. And those of you who are interested in physical, the same classroom you can also attend from our office physically as well, those of you who are interested. And we've got a wonderful, offer for you today. And we want to thank you all for having joined this webinar. As you can see, it's US dollars 249 or Indian rupees 21,900. It's already discounted. It's $25,900, basically USD 399, and we're currently running it on the website for 21,900 rupees is the listed price, which is 349 US dollars. The curriculum is really, really detailed. So if you see over here, right, we've got the introduction to Python, NumPy and the pandas. We've got visualization with Matplotlib and Seaborn. We've got linear logistic regression, supervised algorithms. We've got k-nearest. We've got decision trees, random forest, shade cart, support vector machines, and unsupervised methods like k-means clustering. We've got principal component analysis, recommender systems, NLP, which is your text mining and sentiment analysis. We even introduce you to Spark. So we've got a class on how do you use Python with Spark, and that is included in the course. Of course, we do not go into details of Spark, but this is about giving you basic awareness and applied skills in Sparks in combination with Python. Spark is really popular as a big data tool right now. And finally, we even have neural networks like RNN and CNN, and deep learning, and a capstone project on live data, which no one gives you. So we actually share that. We share live data and give you a project on Python, right? Not only that, we also make sure that we do not leave you without any skills on descriptive analytics. So we cover Tableau and how to integrate Tableau with Python, which is TabPy. So all of that is also covered in the course. It really leaves you at a point where you have a very holistic understanding of data science and data analytics, right? Okay. Right. So and this is across the world. So people join across the world. This is for 2 months. As you can see, there are 16 lectures, so 8 weekends, Saturday and Sunday. For 2 months, we have learners from all over the world who join on Zoom video conference. The duration of the class today was 1.5 hours, but the actual class will be 2.5 hours. Okay, so just to make it clear, it'll be 2.5 hours, and we will have a break in between, a bio break and a dinner break or a lunch break, whatever it might be. So typically that will be 15 minutes or so. Now sometimes when the topics are difficult, we may actually go a little beyond 2.5 hours all the way up to 3 hours. So as you can all see, not all of these topics are equally difficult or equally easy, right? So the ones that are a little easier, around 2.5 hours, the ones that are a little more difficult, maybe around 3 hours. But in total, you'll see that the whole course will be around 48 hours, which works out to 2 months and 8 weekends and 16 classes. Okay, so that's the whole course there. Okay, all right. So the other piece is that is your certification in, recognized in the industry. So what you should do, you should definitely read our feedback. Okay, so we have equiskill.com / just a second, facebook.com / equiskill. Right. So this is one, and you should definitely go to Quora.com and read feedbacks from our learners who are already placed in many different companies. So when you type Equiskill in Quora, you will see how do I become a data analyst from Equiskill, how many placement offers and all of that. So you will see a lot of our learners, are actually working in data science now. For example, Anjani is working in NPS analytics. We've got other learners here like Parth, who've done different courses with us. We've got Sandeep. So we've got a lot of learners over here who've talked about their experience. If you go for this other question here, just type Equiskill on Quora. I think you'll see a learner who's a data scientist. He is an electrical engineer. He's a data scientist now at Agile Technologies, Arumugam. So I think you'll see his feedback as well. So a lot of people have sort of given their feedback. You might also want to go to Facebook and look at the reviews. So a lot of people have given the reviews here on Facebook about the course, right? And our rating is 4.9 out of 5. And if you go to LinkedIn, you will see us being tagged by our learners. So you can publish our certification on your LinkedIn page. Just to show you here, we've got a particular learner here, Mukul. Yeah, so just to show you how you publish your certifications, I also guide you on your resume, right? How to make your resumes. I've got a small, 30-minute section on that. So you can actually publish your certification here. So this person here, for example, did a Tableau certification with us, right? So he's published his Tableau certification here. And if you click on See Certificate, it actually opens up your live certificate online, okay? So this is an authenticated certificate that you can publish on LinkedIn. There you go. So I hope that helps some of you over there. Okay, so we will have a lot of hands-on sessions, and you will practice along with us. The methodology that I follow is a click and follow methodology, Hema. So you will be able to click and follow along with me and Samir and practice during the class 2.5 to 3 hours. I would want you, Hema, to practice another 2 to 3 hours during the week also, okay? Just 2 to 3 hours, which means on an average, if you do like maybe 40 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day of practice, it will really, really help you, Hema, okay? And Sabrina says, I'm not a hardcore developer, can I learn it? So Sabri, for your information, I'm from HR and Samir is not a computer engineer, okay? And we have both learned it. Now I am a computer engineer, okay? So let me confess that. but I've been in HR for 10 years. So if I could move to data science, why you cannot is my question, right? So if I could be the speaker for machine learning, I want to encourage all of you. See, 3 years ago, when I started, I had never imagined that I would be a speaker at a machine learning summit on data science. But today I am, and with your support, if you go to Quora.com, you will see that I think the top, writers on analytics, you will find me there. And this has all been possible because I've just been persistent. And I can assure you that if you are persistent, you will also become, one of the leading people in analytics across the world, right? So as you can see here, this is my Quora ranking. I'm currently ranked number 4 in the world, and I was from HR. So why can't you do it? Okay, there you go. Okay, so I will help you. Samir will help you. We're there, right? So and how did I learn? Says Ayushka. So I've got this blog. How to become a self-made data scientist. Okay, so I'll talk about that in a short while. Okay, just give me a second. I'll show you my blogs, but let me share with you the discount that we're running today for all of you. Here you go. So for those that actually joined the webinar today, right, I really appreciate that all of you were able to make it, and I want to make this really special for you. For all of you, I'm not publishing this on the internet. You have a discount. So instead of $399, it's only $249 for a 48-hour live course, email support, right? Throughout your course, you can send us your screenshots if you have errors. We reply within 2 working days, and we give you career assistance as well, in the sense that I personally make your resume and give you tips on how to publish it on LinkedIn, how to make your profile popular, and how to tag the right people, all of those things. And I can tell you something that, just on the basis of putting together the resume, a lot of my learners just got shortlisted. And I'll show you, the kind of transformations that we've done on resumes. So $249, big discount. And for India, those who want to pay in Indian rupees, it's just 16,900. Unheard of for a course that will do Python machine learning and teach you intermediate level Tableau as well, so that you're not weak in your descriptive analytics. Okay, both of these combined for 16,900. Right. So if you click on the link here, I've got this button here that you can actually click on, and when you open these buttons, you'll see that you can pay on PayPal, and you can pay on PayUmoney in India. And let me show you those links right away. Right. The moment you actually join, you will receive the recordings that you need to go through and start preparing for the course. So you'll receive 1 or 2 recordings. This is for the people that want to join in US dollars. This link is being shared only here. Okay. So for USD learners, we have a lot of learners from Jakarta, Dubai, London, and the US and Canada, Toronto, Michigan, and all of those locations. So for all of you, and for those of you that are actually joining from India, I've actually got a payment link that I had created, but let me just do one right away. So it's just 16,900 for the Python machine learning certification. There you go. So I'll share this across with all of you as well. We're going to be starting next Sunday. Okay, so please do join the course, and you will also notice that we have a 30-day refund policy. Just a second. So this is very important. We have a 30 for 30 apology. I have a little bit of a challenge here. Right. So I'll take any more questions you have before I close out for the day. Okay. I think there's a small challenge with the internet. Just a second. Let me move to faster connection. Right, there we go. So this should be much better. So let me take all the questions that I have so far. Okay, link for INR. Yes, just a second. I'll just create the link right away for INR. I was doing that a very short while ago. Python ML. Okay, for some reason it's misbehaving. Okay, I'll email it across to everyone. Okay, along with the presentation. So in the presentation itself, I will share the INR link. Hmm? Samir, do you want to take this question that we just got on sentiment using Python in Spring project? Is it possible?
I didn't get the Spring project. I didn't get that. Can you guys hear me? So I
Yes,
didn't
we can
under
hear you.
so I didn't understand the sentiment using Python in Spring project possible. I didn't get Spring project. So could you please elaborate, Kirti?
Yeah, yeah. Did you mean the spring semester? Okay.
Okay, I think Java Spring. Okay, so I mean, see, if you really you are talking more of terms of talking in terms of integrating Java and Python when it comes to sentiment analysis, if I'm not wrong. So uh, you want sentiment analysis to be run in Java, right? So that's I think this is what you mean. Yeah. So I mean, you don't need Java to do this thing. You don't need Java to do a sentiment analysis. I mean, you can definitely club back the results of sentiment into Java by any means. You need to Google it how to integrate the results of this, because I don't think Java has a very good capability of sentiment analysis. What Python can provide you, because Python connects to deep learning and do all the sentiment analysis and a lot of great things that Python is capable of, which still Java has not come to that level. So I would recommend you
Absolutely.
to go by Python itself and try to find a way to integrate Java, the results of your sentiment analysis and pull that into Java interface.
Totally agree. I think you definitely want to make sure that you use R or Python for sentiment analysis. And Sabri, we've already shared that we are covering Spark. Okay, not Hadoop. This is not a big data Hadoop course, but we are covering how to integrate Python and Spark. That is already covered in the program. And I think I showed you, but here on the course page, all of you can see this here, including Sabri. So you've got Spark with Python. Okay. Hadoop is a totally different course of 30 hours. This is not a Hadoop course, okay? But we do want to make sure that you have comfort in using Python plus Spark, in using Python with Tableau, and a little bit of Tableau detail will also teach you, because without that you cannot become a data scientist. It's just not possible, okay? And yes, we will also talk about deep learning. So he spoke of Keras, but yes, this is TensorFlow. So basically we will be talking about TensorFlow, deep learning with Python. Okay, so this is a Python machine learning course. This is not a big data analytics course. Okay, right. Yes, but no, see, we've got one solution. Now, before I go there, this is the link that I've just shared, the discounted link, only available to those who have joined the webinar today. Okay, so please use this discount link, When you click on this discount link, it will take you to this page where you can enter your mobile number and email ID, continue to pay and join the course. Immediately upon joining, you will get what to install. You'll get access to 2 recordings which you need to study before you come to the class. Okay, so that's very important that you do it before next Friday, so that at least Saturday you can go through the 1 or 2 recordings and join the course. There'll be one important recording. One is the webinar recording, which you've already attended today. The other will be Introduction to Python and Machine Learning, quick recording which you need to go through. So join the course and you'll get all of those details right away. And I've already shared with you now the PayPal link for international learners as well as the INR link for USD learners. Now, a couple of questions I got in the chat box. Let me answer those. We are at 12:30, so we've reached the time for the webinar. What topic will be covered with the practical project? Okay, so we have a live data set. There are 2 live data sets. One in this course is an e-commerce live data set for Tableau. The other is a financial data set that we will be sharing with you. Okay, and those 2 will be covered. Do we have any prerequisites to start the course? No, not really. You need to pay and you need to attend the webinar recording, plus Introduction to Python, install Python on your computer. All of those will be shared with you in a welcome email along with your learning management system, where you can install Jupyter notebooks and Python and go through the introductory video to Python before you join the class. Okay, you don't have to be a computer engineer to do this. Okay, but every week you have to study 2 to 3 hours. Okay, what role can I apply after the course is the next question that I've got. So see, we already talked about the roles over here. You need to target all the roles that have Python and Tableau as a tool, and you'll find a lot of those roles. Okay, where you can look for roles which require data scientist, data analyst. Okay, in Tableau, Python, right? So all of those roles, you will be able to target after this course. Specifically, more the flavor will be Python, but they may definitely require you to know a little bit of visualization. So you will have that ability as well. I do not think you can go to become an AI engineer after this course. So don't be over aggressive. Let me tell you that is not possible. But yes, data science, data analyst roles, as well as machine learning roles, where you have machine learning for people with up to let's say 0 to 5 years experience in ML kind of roles. You can target those kind of roles after completing these kind of certification programs. Okay, more questions? Spring Boot and Python integration, Kirti, we will send you a link for that later. I have saved your question. And Ella says, how do you prepare and manage data for improving quality? Yes, so data cleaning is a topic we cover in this, and I will show you how to clean a data set, right? Now, cleaning can have many forms. For example, if you have data you scrape from the internet, you may need to remove links, okay? You may need to remove smiley, right? There's no meaning of a smiley if you do an NLP analysis. For that, that is what cleaning means. But cleaning for a raw data set may mean that you have to insert the missing values. Okay, either you have to insert them, or you have to delete them, or you have to ignore them, right? So which one would you do? So we will teach you that. Okay, all of those things will be covered, right? So Ella, I think it's a long topic. I think along the course you will learn how to clean data. It's a part of each and every class, I think, is how to clean the data. Yeah. Any other questions, folks, before we close out for the day? And I just want to reiterate the time for the class, right? So today, the time for the webinar was different, but the time for the class will be 7:30 p.m. IST, which works out very well for all locations, right? So in terms of ET, that is 10 a.m. ET in the US. In terms of Jakarta, that works out to, I think, 9:30 p.m. 9 p.m. in Jakarta, right? If you're in Dubai, that typically works out around 6 p.m. And all of India, it's 7:30 p.m. In the evening to 10 p.m. IST. Okay, great. Any other questions people have? Yes, the full course is recorded. So each and every class is recorded. Okay. Let me show you the LMS, so that will give you a clearer idea. Hang around. Just give me a second while I open the LMS. What is the address of the LMS for Python LMS address? ecoscale.com. I'll just open up one of the learning management systems. Okay. Because it's easy for us to cover all of this in 48 hours. You just need to practice 2 hours a week and we will teach you this nice and easy. We start with data science and we move to machine learning and we will take our time. Yes, so Ella, you've already entered your email ID. And so Samir, the file that Samir shared, as well as the presentation and the recording will all be emailed across to all of you who registered for today's webinar. Okay, so Kirti, you will also get the recording. See, now I'll just show you the LMS, okay? So the way it works is in the LMS, you will see the introductory webinar and the presentation for the introductory webinar. As you move forward, we'll get into introducing you to Python and Python basics. So you can all see the video here. And in each one, you have the session presentation, the feedback link, and the data. All of the data is there in this particular slide if you open the slide, right? Okay. And as you go on, we get into Python, NumPy, and Pandas. Then we talk about Matplotlib, introduction to machine learning and visualization in Python. Then, we get into linear regression, logistic regression techniques in Python, k-nearest neighbors, decision trees and random forests. And then we also introduce you to visual analytics using Tableau and how to use that with Python. So there's a couple of classes on that. So we make you very strong in that. Then we get back to Python, support vector machines, k-means clustering, recommender systems, NLP, big data and Spark with Python, right? And then neural networks and deep learning with Python. And finally, your capstone project, right? So it's a really, really detailed course, and you'll get access to this entire LMS, you know. um, and I wanted your feedback for today's class. So please give me a second. Now, in the feedback form that I'm just going to share with you now, there is the email ID. Those who share your feedback in this form, you'll immediately get the recording in 2 hours. Okay, for others, it may take a little bit of more time. Frederick, we will be covering the stats that you need to learn. So you need to know descriptive and inferential statistics. We'll be covering that. In fact, that's the video that I will send you. The moment you make the payment, you will get that video. Okay, within 24 hours. All right. So can everyone please click on this feedback form and say done. You'll notice that in this feedback form, I've requested for your email address. Those who have attended, they are all eligible for the discount recording presentations. So just first of all, remember that I respect your privacy. I have an unsubscribe link on all of the emails that we send out. You can unsubscribe anytime, and you can just enter your name, and we keep your mobile number 100% confidential, right? This is not shared with anyone, so we have a lot of respect for your data. Just share this, and I will be sure to send you the presentation recording discount coupons. All I want to know is that would you recommend this class to others, and how satisfied were you with our knowledge, the demos and presentations, and how can we improve this a little bit further? So this is the feedback form now. I'm sharing it with all of you in the chat box. The fastest way to get the recording and everything is to fill up your feedback form, okay? Just 3 questions. Once you fill it, please say done in the chat box. I hope you guys are all filling in your feedbacks. Thank you so much. I want to thank each one of you. So Sabri, Sharan, Shashank, Sibananda, Surya, Tejaswini Krishna, and Nikhil, Nadif Nafal, and Manohar. Thank you everyone for joining today, and thank you Samir for your wonderful demo, and Hema, Frederick, Ella, Daniel. Daniel, I've seen you before. I think you've been in some of our other events, right? Okay, Bikash and Abhilash. Daniel is a regular at EcoSkill events. Okay, fantastic. So Ella says we learn a lot. Thank you so much, Ella. I'm so happy for that. And Ella says thank you so much. Okay, I really appreciate your comment, Ella. It makes my day. Surya has filled his feedback, and thank you everyone. Says Sharan. Okay, Equiskill team. Daniel's filled his feedback as well. Superb. I think within 2 hours you'll get everything that you need, guys. The recording, the presentation, right? All of that. Yeah. Thanks, Kirti. Thanks, Frederick, Sabri.